What are the 5 most important empires of ancient Mesopotamia? In ancient Mesopotamia, humanity's first empires were born. What were these empires, and how did they change the world? Towering ziggurats of mud brick, sandal-trodden paths, and people in colorful flounced dresses and wraps. Vast cities supported by grain, cattle, and the water of the Tigris and Euphrates. This is where civilization began. Today's history students are well versed in the impact of modern empires. The imperial activities of Britain, France, Spain, and other European countries impacted most of the globe and enmeshed it into Europe's sphere of influence. With these empires came colonialism, genocide, and slavery on a disastrous new scale. To properly understand empires, however, we must examine the earliest empires of the ancient world. This takes us to ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilizations. The Akkadian Empire, the first civilization of ancient Mesopotamia. The Akkadian Empire lasted from 2350 to 2150 BCE. It was based in Akkad in ancient Mesopotamia, though the Akkadians themselves are theorized to be Semitic people from the regions south of ancient Mesopotamia. Studies of Akkadian language revealed connections to South Arabian and early Egyptian language, indicating the Akkadians may have originated there. Akkad was the first empire in ancient Mesopotamia. It was one of the earliest empires in history, beaten only by ancient Egypt. Before the Akkadian Empire, ancient Mesopotamia consisted largely of city-states. Therefore, Akkad was one of the original sources of inspiration for all other empires in the region. The ideas of Sargon, the founder of the Akkadian Empire, had a great impact on how later ancient Mesopotamian empires were run. With him, Sargon bought his daughter Enheduanna. She was given the position of En priestess in the city-state of Ur. This made her the head priestess of En, the king of all gods within the Sumerian pantheon. Part of this role was creation and recitation of original hymns and poems. Being an outsider to Sumerian culture allowed her to bring her own uniqueness to the position. This included using first-person perspective, identifying herself as the author, and autobiographical elements. Every previously written document before Enheduanna lacked an attributed author, making her the earliest identified author in all human history. All others before her are lost to obscurity. The compiler of the tablets was Enheduanna. My king, something has been created that no one has created before. Giving his daughter this position ensured that he and his family were incorporated into the local culture of the Sumerians. The majority of southern Mesopotamia consisted of Sumerian city-states before the Akkadian Empire. Though Sumerians and Akkadians were neighbors and had things in common, they were dissimilar enough that Sargon needed to integrate his rule into their culture to legitimize himself. The Babylonian Empire. The first Babylonian Empire was forged by Hammurabi in the 18th century BCE. He was a king of Babylon, though he and his successors called it Madakati, the country of Akkad. This was a deliberate throwback to the Akkadian Empire. After multiple campaigns, he had conquered several ancient Mesopotamian cities and states, including Elam, Mari, and Larsa. He was left with control over most of Mesopotamia, from the Persian Gulf almost to the Mediterranean Sea. Hammurabi's conquests left him with the same problem faced by administrators throughout time. How was one meant to keep this many people organized and orderly? This problem was perhaps one motivation behind his empire's major achievement, the Code of Hammurabi. Fragments of the same text have been found throughout ancient Mesopotamia, indicating it was widely distributed as a general standard throughout the empire. The most famous and largely complete copy is found today in the Louvre Museum. This copy is inscribed in Akkadian cuneiform on an obsidian stele 2.5 meters high. Hammurabi's code isn't famous without reason. It is one of the first places where the theory of innocent until proven guilty is stated. It also sets out laws based on principles of fairness and equality, example, the famous, an eye for an eye. Despite the longevity of Hammurabi's reputation, his empire only lasted around 300 years. It fell to the Kassites in the 1500s BCE. The Neo-Assyrian Empire. The Assyrian state existed continuously from 2500 to the 500s BCE. Its size and power fluctuated over time, even achieving the status of empire in multiple periods. Most notable of these was the Neo-Assyrian Empire. This period began in the first half of the first millennium BCE with a series of militaristic rulers who expanded their territory.